Okay folks, what we're going to be doing today is showing you how to mount the camera mount to a rifle, a shotgun, and bow. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about this year's new device is the cell phone mount. This is a Remington 870 Wingmaster 12 gauge standard shotgun. So we're going to zoom in here a little bit so you can see a little better. This is the mount we'll be using. All of the mounts are basically designed the same way. The only difference is going to be on the regular main mounts is going to be the diameter of the hole up here. This particular mount is for a shotgun or a bow. It'll work with a 16 gauge, a 12 gauge, and a 20 gauge shotgun. And it will also work with most bows if you purchase the stabilizer that's provided with it with this line of product. Okay, there's only a few parts to this thing. It's very simple. It's designed so that the average person can use it. These are the screws for the side. Before you mount, you want to open them all the way and then go back in a couple of turns so that you got it open really well. This mounts it to the barrel or to your stabilizer on your bow. This bottom screw is to actually attach whatever type of camera. We're going to be using an old mini DV camcorder here. There's several different types of cameras you can use. It's basically a matter of preference or choice. On the side you have two wing nuts. Of course, the one on the bottom loosen the one on the top, and there's an arc in the top, so when you go to zero this later, you'll be moving this up and down, and that's what the purpose of those are for. When you mount it, you want to have these just kind of snugged up. Okay, so let's proceed with the mount. Now, most recording devices, especially if it's a camcorder, are going to open on the left side. So imagine it wouldn't do you any good to mount it this way. You want to make sure that the open end of your camera mount is facing to the left of the weapon. So let's concentrate on the mount first. All we do for a shotgun, I know the instruction says take it to the end and slide it down. You can do that, but I just, from experience, the only item you really have to do that with is a stabilizer, because it's such a tight tolerance to the ID of the head. But with a shotgun, you can actually open it up like I told you, these screws all the way, go in a couple of turns, and then you can actually usually just snap this up on the top. The thing you want to make sure of, though, is that your strip of rubber is fully protecting your barrel. You'll be able to pull that back and forth as necessary until you get it on to where you need it. Okay, then you just squeeze it together, the head together, and then just run your screws in. You just run your screws in all the way. You see what I'm doing here? I know my hand's probably blocking it, but everybody knows how to run a screw in. Now once you get these flush, what you want to do to tighten them is go just about a quarter to half turn each till you get them a little tight. And it just has to be snug. Because here's the deal: you don't want to strip these threads out. There are stainless steel inserts, helicoil inserts in the female side of the head on this side, but if you turn these screws too hard, you're going to strip it out, and the item is basically ruined. It doesn't have to be that tight. You just want it to where the rubber grips and it doesn't move. The rubber is there for a purpose. It absorbs the shock as well as it provides a grip, and that's why this mount doesn't slip very much. So we've got this on now. It's time to mount our recording device. For purposes of this, we're going to use a camcorder. So we just go down, we get our little Allen wrench and our kneel down here a bit, we get our little Allen wrench and our screw. And all recording devices are going to have a universal ISO fitting on the female thread on the bottom. It's not very deep, so with some of them it's a little more difficult than others, but none of them is majorly difficult. So we'll just line that up and we'll put it in the hole, give it a few turns just to get it snug down. Don't worry if your rubber pad under there is straight or not. It doesn't really matter. You just want the grip from it. So you want it loose enough that you can turn it a little bit here, because later you're going to go ahead and do you're going to zero the camera to the weapon. I'll just show you the same principles went through here you would do with a rifle, except you would need the rifle mount. And we'll show you the difference now with a bow. Move this out of the way and get a bow. This here, this is a Matthews Legacy. Doesn't really matter the bow. I believe this unit will fit on most of them. You have to make that call for yourself. But all we do, just like putting in a regular stabilizer, this one is just the OD, fits the ID of the mount. You just screw it in all the way. Again, those are ISO threads, so pretty standard among all bows and it should fit. And then you just tighten it in. It's not going to hurt your bow. And of course you would mount your mount here towards the end, allowing enough room for your camera to be in here. Okay. Now, for purposes of this demonstration, I've already mounted a mount to the rifle. What we're going to do now is actually show you how to use the cell phone adapter. Here is a standard cell phone, and here is the cell phone adapter. Very simple. There's only 2 wing nuts on it. Only 2. What I like to do is open it up a little bit so that I know it's wide enough for my phone to go in. And then I kind of just hold it up there and just slide my phone over to where I know it's going to fit but take up most of the room. That's about right there. Then you just gently turn the wing nut. Hope you can see this. Just enough to get it snug. Once again, you have 2 rubber pads, one on the front, one on the back. This provides excellent grippage. You do not have to tighten it. It's very tight. Don't tighten it so tight that you crush your cell phone. You just want to hold it. Then you'll remove the bottom wing nut. And of course your camera mount comes ready for just a regular camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this screw from the bottom here. Just pull it out. Well, it fell. I'll get it later. Leave your piece of square rubber strip up there. Just drop this through the hole. Put your wing nut on the bottom. Just tighten it just snug because you're going to have to do your left and right later. But when you just a quarter turn on this thing and it's not going anywhere. So the rubber does all the work. The thing to remember with this mount, let the rubber do its work. Rubber, by nature, when it's clean, it's tacky and it will grip. And that's the whole purpose behind this mount, and that is why this mount doesn't slip. If this mount slips, it's because something's been over tightened and stripped so it can't get the grippage it needs. And sometimes also the rubber strips get a little dirty from being out in the wind, dust, rain, whatever. Just take them off and put them under just the rubber strips now. Put them under hot soapy water wash them, rinse them, dry them, and they're ready to use. You can use them indefinitely. And I think that pretty much concludes how to use everything. We're going to do another video showing you how to zero all of these items to your particular weapon.